Welcome back to the Redneck Tech YouTube page, and today we are going to talk about some non-camera related gear, and the first thing we're going to talk about is boots. I have got a little boot obsession over the last couple of years because I've not been able to find anything that I'm just in love with. The boots that I've been running for a long time are the Salomon 4D GTX. I love the boots. I don't have them here, and this for a reason, because I'd wear those boots and I'd love those boots. They fit comfortably, but two things that they did not have that I needed, which was ankle support and durability. I wouldn't get more than a season out of them. And obviously we're not the average hunters or outdoorsmen because we're in the woods quite a bit more than the average guy. The average guy, according to Bass Pro Shops, hunts about 3 weekends a year. We do a lot more than that. If I was only hunting 3 weekends a year, the Salomons would be great, but they're not. So I wanted a pair of boots that are gonna last, and I wanted a pair of boots that were light and that had ankle support. So what I've came up with so far after testing Zamberlan's, Lathrop & Sons, Kenetrex, the Salomons, and I'm probably missing one or two others. I've spent entirely too much money on boots. I'll also try two other pair of Crispies. I tried the Thors and can't remember the other ones, but they were too heavy. And eventually I settled on the Laponias. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. The reason I have really enjoyed these boots is, first of all, as you can tell, they've been worn, rode hard, and put up wet. They're really light. I'm a lightweight boot guy. I don't like my boots being heavy. That was the reason I didn't like the Zamberlans. That was the reason I didn't like the Kenetrex. I loved everything else about them. Kenetrex were a little stiff for me, but these are not a stiff boot. I don't like a stiff boot. That's different. Clay and Ryer like a much stiffer boot than I do. This boot is really light. It's got enough ankle support, and it's big enough to where if I needed to wear an ankle brace, I could. And it's waterproof, and this one's a little over a year old, and they're still holding up really well. Still waterproof. All the things that I want them to be. They've got a really good, really durable right here around the toe, which is usually where they start to go. The toe and then the bend of your foot is where mine start to go. They'll start to break down right here, and they'll start getting water in there. These have been really good so far for that. And I use these most of the season. And the reason I use these most of the time is because I hate a rubber boot. But as you see on the table, I do have a pair of rubber boots. The lights. And when they're called lights for a reason, they're crazy light. I will wear these when it is muddy and really wet. That's the only time I'll wear them because my feet still sweat in these. But these are light enough and easy enough to get on and off to where they're acceptable to me. If it gets really cold, I've got a pair of lacrosse insulated boots, but I try my best not to wear them because I hate a clunky rubber boot. Detest them with a purple passion. But if you have to wear a pair of rubber boots and there's no other situation, or there's no way you're not gonna just get nasty wearing something like this, to me, this is the only rubber boot option. They're easy on, easy off. They're crazy light. And for the most part, I've had these since the springtime. They've held up pretty well. I've had one thing push through on the bottom. It's like a really bad locust briar or something in the Midwest. But other than that, they have been really good for me. But again, as my grandmother says, if I had my druthers, these are the ones I'm wearing. One last thing I want to talk about is something that I've added to these boots that you can't see from the outside that I personally really like, which is the sheep feet. I got these a while back, and I'm very impressed with them so far. I don't like the ones that have the built-up heel in the back because that would rub my heel a little bit. And I talked to the owner, his name's actually Caleb too, about that. He's like, that's not supposed to happen. Maybe I'm an anomaly. But I've had a really good experience with these sheep feet so far. And I think the ones that come in the Crispies are kind of cheap and thin, and that's why I went to these. But overall, what I'm looking for in a boot is lightweight with ankle support and not rubber. But if I have to go rubber, like I said, lights are the way I'm gonna go.